Good morning, everybody. I am finally getting around to do a day in the life of a dental hygiene student. I did wake up at about 6:15, 6:10 this morning, and it is now 7:15. I got myself dressed. I checked my blood sugar. It was 95. I ate some yogurt, a low-carb yogurt, and now I am at 111 and stable. But I foresee that going up a little bit more soon, as though I have a little bit of that dawn effect. Plus, I have one skill eval today, so I'm gonna try to nip higher blood sugars in the butt before they kick my butt. But anyways, I'm finally getting around to filming this, and I'm super excited. And keep in mind, I may not be able to film a ton, but I'm gonna do my best. And seeing as though I have an endo appointment today, I'll let you guys know what my new A1C is, how that went. And that's after school, so it doesn't interfere with any of my classes. And I have to keep it that way only because my program requirements are super strict. If we miss so many days, we have like employability loss. It's basically for accreditation, and in order for us to get our license, we have to have so many clinical hours, so many lecture hours, mandated by the state. So I'm in my car right now. My clinic class, today's Tuesday, so I have clinic class in the morning, and then I have anatomy lab in the afternoon. I think today we're just doing practice in clinic, except we have like one skill eval in one area of the mouth, with one of our instruments, which I'm not really too worried about. I feel pretty confident with it. And then anatomy, we're going to be palpating each other's glands and lymph nodes to get us started on how to perform an intraoral, extraoral exam or an oral cancer screening. So super exciting things going on in the dental hygiene school world. Been super busy, but I love it. And yeah, so today is the 22nd of October, if you want to know the date. Not sure when this is going to go up, but anyways, I will get back to you guys as soon as I get to school. A tip for any of you college students: if you do commute to your college, leave about an hour before you start class. For me, because it takes me a half an hour, then I have like this extra half an hour to 40-minute leeway since I have to get changed, or if something happens on the highway, say there's an accident, say there's a traffic jam, at least I have more time to allow myself to get to class on time and not risk losing in my college employability points, or risk losing points for being late, or especially in clinic, if we're late, we have this thing called tally-val, and that is a critical error. You don't want that happening, because obviously at certain points we're going to be treating patients and stuff, and you don't want to be late for your patient, right? So anyways, I will talk to you guys when I get to school. So I just made it to school. It is 7:45 in the morning. Plenty of time to be here. Like I said, I don't start till 8:30. But I'm going to go down into our locker room and get changed into my scrubs and just kind of relax and maybe review a little bit on one area of the mouth, just to make sure. I'm pretty confident I have this down, but I just want to make sure I have everything that I need, and that'll be it. It's going to seem to be a pretty chillax day. I think it's going to be interesting, and just I love the days that we're hands-on. And we are divided into two groups. So group A is my group, and we have alternate lab schedules and clinic schedules. So on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays, we're like opposites each other. So I have clinic in the morning on Tuesday, which means that I have anatomy lab in the afternoon, versus a B student, or a group B student would flip that. They'd have anatomy in the morning and clinic in the afternoon. The reason why they do that is because they can only have so many instructors in clinic per the amount of students. It's 1 per 4, it's 1 per 5. And if that means that there's 10 of us in each group, that's why they only accept 20 students a year. That means 10 are in group A, 10 are in group B, with 2 instructors in our clinic classes, or I guess you could call it a pre-clinic, because the only patients we're treating is each other. And then when we get to second, third, and fourth semesters, and we're treating like patients, patients that we know, or patients off their call list, or whatever the case may be for our licensure requirements. So anyways, that will be today's schedule. And then it kind of goes opposite, like Fridays, like group B has clinic in the morning, and I have clinic in the afternoon with group A. So it gives it a nice flip, so that everybody gets like a chance to have like a morning and an afternoon class, so that it's not unfair that only one group gets morning and only one group gets afternoon, or vice versa. So anyways, like I said, I don't know how much I'm going to be able to film, mainly because I'm trying to protect myself and my classmates. And obviously I don't want any of you knowing where I go to school. That's why I kind of have everything kind of tipped down like here, so you can't see it. I will unveil it after I graduate, obviously then, because I won't be going here, but just to protect myself as a YouTuber, I'm going to be doing that. So anyways, I will talk to you guys when I can. It'll probably be on my lunch break, or I'll just snap a picture of me doing something at lunch. and then maybe after school. Like I said, I don't know how much of this I'm going to actually be able to film, mainly because I'm not going to violate anybody's privacy, and number two, there's certain things I obviously can't film when I'm in clinic and stuff. So I'll see you guys later. So long time no update. I finished for the day. I didn't really want to pull up my camera in front of anybody, and we kind of have a shorter break in between our lab days. It's only an hour, just because just the time constraint and stuff. So my process class started out good. I think I was the first person, one of the first people to do the eval, which was nice. I got that out of the way. I missed one point, but I find it funny that the point I missed was something so silly. I was holding the instrument tightly, and she's like, it's probably because you were nervous for this. I said, well, yeah. I said, it is kind of intimidating to like have you literally over our head watching us do this movement. But the funny thing is the side that I didn't do as well on is easier than the side that I nailed, which I find hilarious, that the more difficult side to instrument on, I did way better. Probably because I finally felt more confident with myself and I felt okay after that. But as long as we get it right, 50% of the time we get the point. So other than that, I did like fantastic. Like I did really good, and I know I'm capable of doing really good instrumentation skills. I just gotta like get myself past the whole they're sitting right there watching you kind of thing. But she was one of the adjunct instructors. She was awesome. I absolutely love the way she teaches. She's super helpful. I can ask her a question and she'll just like hop right in and answer it for me, and it makes a lot of sense. And then we just practiced the rest of the class. We did like peer evaluations on the probe, the periodontal probe, which again, if I go into dental hygiene school, more videos about that, I'll kind of talk about that, kind of like what these instruments are. But we did that with our own peer, and then we practiced exploring the other sextants that we'll get evaluated on. A sextant is just an area of the mouth. There's 6 different sextants to the mouth, and we get evaluated on 1, 3, and 4. We've already done 2, 5, and 6 because they're the easiest ones to do. And the other 3 harder ones will come on Friday. So, and then anatomy, we just looked at each other's regions of the neck and our lymph nodes, and looked at our tonsils and stuff, kind of the start of like doing a oral cancer screening. And then we got lectured on paranasal sinuses, and then we got an assignment on osteology, which is our next unit, like starting like the whole bones of the face and everything like that. And then we did like an in-class assignment, and then I have a quiz tomorrow, 2 quizzes, a radiography quiz and an anatomy quiz on the previous stuff that we just learned. And I'm taking my ethics final, which is a class that's done with. It was like a 1-credit class in which we learned like the professionalism of a dental hygienist and kind of that kind of stuff. So tomorrow's gonna be a jam-packed day, but I'm gonna be fine. And it is right now 2:51, and my appointment's at 3:30. My appointment is not far from where I go to college, which is super duper nice. I didn't even realize I had this tip the whole time, which is super duper nice that it's only going to take like 5 minutes to get there. I'm really hungry. My blood sugars today, the highest they went was like 160, which is way better than the 240 I had for my first skill eval. But again, until I've learned to control that, and I've learned to realize that, hey, this isn't as bad as you think it is, and you know you're capable of doing it. And I got through it, and I missed 1 point just because I held the instrument too tightly. But when I explore on a real person, I definitely don't hold it that tight, and it was just nerves. But they still have to deduct, because if they see that consistently, that is a point taken off. So 10 out of 11, I'm not going to complain. We need to get a 9 or better to pass, and I got a 10. So if you get anything less than a 9 or an 8, something like that, you have to redo your evaluation, because they want us to 78% competency. And anyways, I'm gonna head to my endo appointment. I'm gonna eat my sandwich quick. My blood sugar right now, if I can touch my watch, is 100. I caught a unicorn. Cool. The highest it went today was like 160, and that's the highest it was. It was like, that was during my like that was during my skill eval, which I'm super duper proud of, that it didn't go really, really high. So I must be doing something right with calming myself down, or just being aware of everything and just understanding that you can get through it and that you can do these things. You just need to tell yourself that you're confident to do so. I just have a lot of self-doubt and a lot of self-criticism, and that's something I'm trying to work on with myself. But anyways, I'm gonna head to my endo appointment. I will talk to you guys after that. And then I'll show you me kind of studying a little bit, how I kind of do that, and maybe I'll share my grades so far with dental hygiene school. FYI, it is a hard program. We are on a 7-point grading scale, which means in order to get an A, you have to get a 93. I have 2 classes that are above a 93, and my other 2 classes, my radiography and my process class, are like 91s. So I'm literally 2% from an A in all 4 classes, which is kind of crazy. I have 2 A's right now. I have an A in anatomy and an A in ethics, and then the B in the other 2 classes. But hopefully I hopefully will get both of those borderline A's, like to the minimal A of like a 93 or whatever, just so that I try to get for all A's. But if I don't, I don't. Not going to worry about it. It's a tough program. I am giving myself a lot of credit for getting through this, and I'll be successful for a 2nd semester. So I will see you guys shortly. So I just pulled into the parking lot of my endocrinology office. Like I said, not a very long drive from my college, which is super nice. It's in the same town, which is super convenient. But if it wasn't, that would probably be more of a pain in the rear to schedule appointments. And I already have kept in mind, like, what if she schedules me, probably not till next year because it's October. Probably January or February will be my next appointment. I seem to go at every 4-month intervals instead of the typical 3, because I'm pretty well managed, so which is super nice. So the best thing is that I know my schedule for next year, clinically wise and lecture wise, so I know when I'm available. So my next appointment will have to be on a Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday afternoon because it conflicts with other things otherwise. But anyways, I'll get into that more later. But yeah, I had a good day today, and I just want to say, if you're a type 1 diabetic, you can do anything you want to do with the disease. You just need to learn to manipulate things and make things differently and stuff. And if your instructors aren't working with you, then you need to speak to somebody, because they should be working with you with your condition and such. And I am so lucky and blessed to have such amazing instructors. I mean, they literally treat me like gold, and I couldn't be more happy and couldn't be more blessed with them. They blew me out of the water with how well they've been treating me. And of course, they're treating everybody else well and fairly too if something were to happen and stuff. But for me, being a type 1 diabetic and having a chronic illness, they treat me no different than anybody else without the disease. But they also treat me with respect, and they treat me with the fact that they understand that I have something, that if I need to check my blood sugar, or if I'm looking at my phone, that I'm not looking at the internet, I'm looking for my blood sugar and knowing what it is so that I can make the best treatment for myself. I just shoveled down a sandwich super quick. My blood sugar right now is 95 and stable. Only reason why I ate the sandwich, I do have cookies, but I don't want to spike my blood sugar before going into an endo appointment. I just feel like that's going to make it worse. It'll make my blood pressure feel out of whack. I'm just going to feel out of whack. And I've had a really good day, and I really don't want to ruin the blood sugars I have. What do I think my A1C is? I'm thinking 6.3, which is the highest it's been since I was diagnosed. Like, I was diagnosed with a 12.7 A1C, and I've had it like 6.2, 5.8, 5.9, 6.0 these past few times. So considering it a 6.3 isn't really that bad, considering the amount of stress and anxiety I go through with dental hygiene school, just because it is a tough program and it's a lot at once. But I'm not going to let it get to me, and you know what? This is such a short time in my life, so as long as I take care of myself and I work on getting those high blood sugars down like I've been, what's there to say? I mean, I'm doing everything in my power, and I'm eating to the best of my ability. I'm carb counting to the best of my ability. I am pre-bolusing, which allows for not as nasty of spikes. I have compromised with low-carb breakfast. I've understood how to try to control the stress and adrenaline rush with tests so that I don't go super-duper high. Like today, it was great. 160. Like, I'm not going to complain at a 160. That's just a little out of range. I mean, it's not like I was 240 like I was last time, you know. So anyways, I'm going to check into my appointment, and I will see you guys later. Long time no update. I had a really good endo appointment. My new A1C is 6.2, which I'm totally satisfied with considering the amount of stress I go through with dental hygiene school. I have definitely nothing to complain about. Everything looks good for me. She did order some more blood tests, like I'm going to do my thyroid again. And then I think she ordered like a vitamin D test, which I found really interesting. and a metabolic panel, which is like that you get every year. None of them I have to fast for, which is super nice, because I already did a cholesterol lipid thing back in February. I don't have to worry about any fasting tests, so I can do that anytime. Oh, and along with the urine screening for microalbumin to test kidney function. So I've just been kind of studying all night. I have 3 things going on tomorrow. I have a quiz in radiography, a quiz in anatomy, and a final for my ethics class, which is all like, this is all for ethics, and this is just stuff that's new for anatomy. I'm getting tested on different things like glands and lymph nodes and like the pharynx and the sinuses for the quiz, but this is all osteology stuff, and I mean, like, unbelievable. Like, this is all stuff on just bones right now. And we're moving on to that next, learning the bone more in depth about the bones of the face and the skull and the mouth area. So it's kind of crazy how much information we learn as dental hygiene students. But anyways, you got to know how kind of everything went today. Like I said, I can't really film a lot just because, number 1, I'm not going to pull out the camera in front of people that may not want to be filmed. Number 2, I don't want to violate any privacy policies. And number 3, I just didn't really have much of a time, but I still hope you enjoyed this video. My blood sugars have been pretty good today. The highest they went was like 190, but then I got a flu shot, and it really, really hurts. It's like literally you can see the bulge in my deltoid, and it's still hot to the touch. But I got my flu shot today, so that was all awesome. And right now I am apparently 98 and going down with a unit of insulin on board, so I better watch out. But the highest my blood sugar went today, I don't know if you guys can see that, is 190. So I had a really good day. Even for my skill eval, I was like at 160, which was like perfect. I'm like not gonna complain about that, considering I felt really stressed, and I must be learning how to adapt myself to the stress and calm myself down enough to not let my blood sugar skyrocket, which I'm super proud of myself. And we talked about my endo appointment. We talked about a bunch of different things, and like how like we as type 1 diabetics have to be our own advocates, and if you're not, advocating for yourself, you're not going to get things, done the way you need, you know what I'm saying? So just keep that in mind. If you are a type 1 diabetic, keep vouching for yourself and keep talking about different things, because that's only going to spark change in our world for management. And we live with a hard disease to manage, and that's something like she talked to me about, is like there's so much variability with type 1. Like some days you can't explain your lows, or you can't explain your highs, or no matter what you seem to do, you just can't seem to find a happy medium, and you're going to have days like that. Just because you are trying to be a pancreas, you are trying to be the beta cells and trying to regulate your own blood sugar levels that your body should be doing for you. So she definitely acknowledged that. We also talked about how type 1 diabetics actually do have the ability to retain and make their own forms of insulin, and may explain why you have random lows that you can't explain and stuff like that, where the beta cells may regenerate for a little bit and then die off from the immune system. So we talked about a bunch of different stuff like that. And I did get a prescription for the new nasal glucagon, which I'm kind of excited to see and try. I do have to see my insurance and see if it's covered under the tier, which if it is, I'll buy it. If not, I can try the copay card, and if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. I still have the regular glucagon that's good for another year, which is the normal stab in the thigh in case of a low blood sugar kind of thing. But I thought that was cool that she was interested in having me try that, and I'm super excited for that. And I have to change my pump tonight, so I thought while I do that, I'll kind of explain like the grading system of dental hygiene school. So I explained to you guys that as dental hygiene students, it is a very hard program, extremely rigorous. We're on a 7-point grading scale, which basically means that in order to get an A, you have to be at a 93% or higher to achieve that. That A, anything between like an 85 and a 92 is a B, and we can't get anything lower than a 78%, or we're basically out of the program, because they want you to that C competency or higher for your classes, so you have to be at that level in order to keep moving on with the program. So there's no time for sloughing off, and there's no time for screwing things up, or you either know it or you don't, and you just kind of got to keep on things and keep continuing to study and be on top of it, because if you think about it, everything I'm learning now could be on my board's exam. So like stuff I'm learning in anatomy, they could ask me questions about like which tooth has this many roots, or which tooth has this type of cusp relationship, or what is a normal classification for occlusion. And you guys don't know what these terms mean, but I do. So it's kind of like, you know, I need to stay on the ball or I might not pass my national boards, and that's like several $100s. It's like, I want to say like $900 for the national board, and like, what is it, like 600 or something, 700? It's really expensive for our clinical boards too, because not only do I have to pass a written national board like an NCLEX, like a nurse does, it's called the NBDHE, the National Board Dental Hygiene Examination. I also have to pass a clinical board for my state, which means I have to find a patient that meets so many requirements for so much tartar or calculus buildup below and above the gum tissue, and basically have to scale a quadrant in front of a bunch of examiners, and they grade me on it, and if you pass or fail, if you fail, you got to retake it in order to be licensed. So it's like a 2-part licensure for dental hygiene. So a lot of people get the idea that dental hygienists, all we do is clean teeth. Well, that's not the case. We are oral health preventative specialists, professionals, so we do oral cancer screenings with our patients almost often. We're assessing the health of the tissues. Obviously, we do the coronal polish that everybody thinks about, but we're actually removing the plaque and calculus off teeth too, which takes fine adaptation and instrumentation, and if you're not doing it right, you damage tissues, and you don't want that. So it's definitely something that is not just a simple field. It's a lot involved, and it's a very rigorous associate degree program, and I'm very lucky to be in the program, and I worked my butt off to get into it, and I'm going to stay in it, and I know it's going to be challenging, and I know that, and even I've had some days already in this program where it's like you feel like you are totally like failing, but what I love is our instructors are so patient with us, and they get that we're still learning and that we're still developing our skills, which I love the fact that they're so patient and so kind, and they've been nothing but kind to me with type 1 diabetes. I mean, I can't be any more happy with my instructors. I mean, it's phenomenal the amount of support I've gotten, and I feel so valued at the place I go to for college. Like I said, my college is very good about diversity and accepting different people of different walks of life, which I think is super cool. And we're all open to different ethnicities and different religions, different traditions. It's just a neat place I go to, and it's not far from my home. Like I said, it's driving distance, which is super awesome. And I want to thank you guys for being understanding with the whole YouTube stuff, just because obviously me being in dental hygiene school, like I don't have as much time to dedicate to YouTube as I'd like. But I do still hop on my social media, but if you see me vacant for a while, or a little bit, seems like I've kind of disappeared off the face of the earth, I promise you I'm okay. I'm just probably busy studying or something like that. I have my fresh pump on, which is right here, and it's going good, and my arm is still killing me from my vaccine. But anyways, this video, I hope this was helpful for you guys, and you kind of got to see what I've been going through a lot. Like I said, I appreciate your patience, and I thank you guys for understanding all I'm going through with dental hygiene school and just being open to different things. And like I said, I hope to be talking more about hygiene school after I finish the first semester, and after I finish every semester, kind of like what happens. So anyways, I hope you enjoyed this day in the life of a dental hygiene student, and particularly living with a chronic autoimmune disease like type 1 diabetes. On top of that, if you enjoyed this video, give it a big thumbs up. Feel free to hit that subscribe button down below. I post videos every single week about diabetes plus more. Stay tuned. I have more videos coming out. I do have to do some sort of surprise for 500 subscribers as well as 600 subscribers, seeing as though we are about 10 to 12 subscribers away from 600 subscribers, which I can't believe. I am so blessed and so lucky to have amazing viewers like you guys. So until next time, I will see you for another video. I love you all. Bye.